If it feels like Japan is on every single traveler's bucket list, it's true. Japan is one of the top travel destinations that people are searching for and planning trips around. But before you go and open up your 20 Google tabs and start searching about what you want to do in Japan, I want you to avoid this one mistake travelers constantly make. Instead of just thinking about where you want to go, why don't you first start with why you want to be there in the first place? Think about how it usually starts. You open up your search engine of choice, you type in best things to see and do in Japan, and 100 generic top lists pop up. And as you scroll through there and you start clicking through them and adding things to your list of places to see and do, you don't realize that some of these places are clear across the country. It would require 3 bullet trains and a ton of time to navigate to and get there and back. But what's the real kicker is that these places are just places. They're not having any type of meaning or something that's personally connected to you. So that's what we're not going to do anymore. Around here, true luxury is immersing yourself in that space at that time so you can enjoy every moment of it. It's about a planning process that really brings in your anchors, those passion-led interests that really motivate you to find new destinations to explore in the first place. So today we're going to do something I think I've done a little bit before, but I'm going to rely heavily on a screen share and maybe some voiceover. And it's really to talk you through that 4-point blueprint on having your hero moments, identifying your micro neighborhoods, really thinking about who would be best served by being on this trip. And then finally, creating that 60-40 flow. So you have 60% of your time that you know and plan in advance so you can deal with all of that navigation. But the other 40% is for you to explore and uncover these new neighborhoods that you're introducing yourself to. It's finding those little cafes and shops and places that you find along the way and maybe never even knew existed when you were doing your big planning exercise. So join me today as we're going to walk through, and I'm going to use a future trip that I have in mind for Japan. And it's called The Ink in the Garden, and it's in my series of literary field trips that I'm building out for my themed trips called The Gilded Page. So I'm glad you're here and welcome back, and thank you for joining me. So whenever I sit down to create a curated experience for a client or even design the small group trips that I will be hosting, I never start with the hotel or the flight schedule. Step 1 of any planning process is identifying those hero moments. And remember, a hero moment isn't a site that you stare at for 30 seconds amongst a sea of others and maybe navigating through selfie sticks. You know who I'm talking about. Instead, it is a deeply immersive experience. And I know deeply immersive might be a little trope that people are using, but really when I'm talking about a deeply immersive experience, it is something where you remember why you're there. You're fully present in that moment. Okay, so let's start. Instead of dropping 20 random pins across a map of Kyoto, I'm going to anchor my planned trip into 3 distinct moments, all woven around the concept of the ink and the garden. So hero moment 1 for me will be the historic archive. And when you think about some place like the Kyoto Prefectural Library, instead of just rushing past all of the placards and markers that you get introduced to while on a tour bus, you actually invest the time and create space to experience all of that Meiji-era architecture and the centuries of preserved history that are kept within. So, Hero Moment 2 is a modern literary sanctuary. 2 minutes across the plaza from the library, we walk into the modern, beautiful structure of Tsutaya Books. Floor to ceiling volumes on Japanese art, rotating curated art moments, warm lighting, and a space to grab a matcha and explore on your own. And hero moment number 3, the restorative space. Just 3 minutes past our exploration of the Tsutaya Books is a quiet place to decompress, the Morenan, a private, stream-fed moss garden where you can sit, breathe, and reflect without ever hitting a crowded train station. So once those 3 hero moments are set, there's one more thing to account for, and it's our accommodations. You can always consider, and I do when I'm planning my small group trips, that our accommodations are going to be a bonus hero moment. It's going to be a place that truly feeds into all of the experiences that we've just designed in the hero inclusions for our itinerary. It's a place that is not just a hotel to lay your head or a place to sleep or get ready for the next day ahead. It is a place that is going to continue to immerse yourself in the emotions and the feelings that you want to go home and talk to your friends about. So now when we look at our map, we can see our 3 hero moments as well as our accommodations. So this is how we're going to center our itinerary. This is how we're going to create that 60-40 flow. And again, who is this trip for? It's all designed around you and what brought you to Japan in the first place, your passions and your excitement and the purpose for your trip. So now let's talk about the difference between access and passive sightseeing. Anyone can stand amongst the herd behind a velvet rope, struggling to take the best photo before your tour group moves on. But true luxury is creating those experiences that take you behind the rope, behind those closed doors. These are private moments really spent with experts in their field that share the same passion as you and give you an immersive experience, something that is more tactile beyond just seeing. It's experiencing everything that these people are delighted to share with you. It's creating more passion in your experiences. So, as an example, instead of just looking at ancient scrolls through a glass display case, imagine experience like this, sitting across from a family who have become master calligraphers, carrying on this beautiful craft and giving you a once in a lifetime experience to actually do calligraphy of your own. You're smelling the ink, you're feeling that paper, you're holding those brushes in your hand, and you're understanding that unique intention behind every single line that you draw into your paper. So, this is again not just checking a box off of a travel list. It is really designing and creating experiences that are uniquely you, that really bring the stories of your destination alive, full of emotion, full of meaning, full of stories that you can take back and share with others. And again, like we talked about the other day, when you're traveling with a small group of like minded people, those people who share those same passions and sparks as you do, you gloss over and you skip that small, awkward conversation and instead go into lasting connection and conversations that really are driven around these hero inclusions and these passion led interests. They're creating an everlasting community. When you reflect back and think about those trips where you went from sunrise to sunset, you're really filling all of your days with a lot of activity and maybe creating a lot of experiences and moments and taking a lot of photos, I'm sure. But when you're on your way back or when you've returned, do you feel like you need a vacation from the vacation you just took? Well, it's because you didn't introduce that 60/40 flow into your itinerary and your planning. You really want to create 60% of your trip designed around these planned experiences because you just can't happen upon things all the time. That 40% is really created for you to reflect, for you to enhance and secure those lasting memories about what you just saw or what you experienced. So, if we think about the itinerary that I want to create and that I'm creating for my Gilded Page Japan trip, that 60% would include the session with the calligraphy master. It is a planned experience. I understand and know what I should expect my travelers to feel when they're going through that moment. But after that, the rest of the time, it's really up to them how they want to spend it. Do they want to explore the bustling city? Do they want to return to that moss garden and just spend their own quiet moments reflecting, journaling, maybe exploring on their own there? So that's how I introduce the balance. It creates the time and space that all of us need really to cement those memories into our very person. So we can recall all the emotions and all of the senses that we had in that present moment. So when you bring my four-step blueprint together and you've got your hero moments, your micro neighborhood, your high-touch access, and your 60/40 flow, you're not just planning a trip. You're designing your own unique and highly personal story, one that you will not want to wait to tell your friends and family about when you get home. So this four-step blueprint is the exact DNA for my Gilded Page travel series, a literary field trip, and I've just designed the European itinerary. I've got a few more details that I want to fine tune, but I'll be ready to share this trip that will take us to Vienna and Prague to explore really gorgeous spaces and spend a lot of time with people who share our same spark. So once I'm ready to share that, I will do a highlight video and introduce you to the itinerary, as well as tell you how you can tell me if you're interested in joining me and a group of like-minded people on that trip yourself. And now, next week, we're going on a little hiatus from my Gilded Page series, and I'm going to show you one of my recent trips around one of my passions. And a passion doesn't have to be something that is dramatic and esoteric. It can be something as silly and simple as an adult who loves to go to Disney. So drop that comment below and let me know what hero moment you're planning to include on your next trip. And hit that like button and also subscribe so you can come back and join me as I share with you my last trip to Disney World and the Disney cruise. And always remember, travel is how you gild the pages of the journal that is your life story. I'm glad you're here and come back next time, and I'll see you then.